No one in this House could be unmoved by the discovery of nearly 800 babies buried in a mass unmarked grave. In fact, that grave was a septic tank. Add to this recent reports that old medical records show that 2,051 children and babies in Irish care homes were given a one-shot diphtheria vaccine for international drugs giant Burroughs Wellcome between 1930 and 1936. The report adds that no evidence exists that consent was ever sought. This is the stuff of war crimes and holocausts. I must take this opportunity to pay tribute to Catherine Corliss, the local historian and genealogist, who brought this truth about the 800 babies to light. No TD, no matter how long you served in the Dáil, could not be touched or moved to tears by the many testimonies that followed the discovery. But emotion and tears are not enough. We are elected here to legislate. Tonight gives every TD on both sides of the House an opportunity to work together, to work in a spirit of cooperation and support tonight's motion. We owe Catherine a great debt of gratitude. Unlike many other people, she did not turn a blind eye or pretend it never happened. We must follow her lead and take immediate action. The failure of the state to take immediate action and the Gardaí to seal off the area and treat it as a crime scene has echoes of denial. If a mass unmarked grave was found in any other part of the world, this government, the EU and the UN would rightly treat it as a crime scene. They would demand that those who perpetrated the crime be brought to justice. Tonight and tomorrow night's debate are not about party politics. It is not about political point scoring. It is about acting on behalf of the women and children who are kept at the Bon Secours Sisters Institution in Tuam, County Galway, and all mother and baby homes across the state. No party will be remembered for their own motion, but instead we must be remembered for moving speedily to try and bring the light of truth and justice to a very dark and oppressive time in our history. The government needs to act swiftly and decisively on this issue. The people are outraged by this latest shameful episode. The inquiry needs to consider the so-called care regime in place, the infant mortality rates and the burial of children in unmarked graves at mother and baby homes in the state. There is a very clear role for the state to deal with this tragedy. The institution in Tuam, along with the many others in Ireland, was in fact regulated by the state. This was not a case of the Catholic Church operating separate to the governments of the time. These homes were visited by civil servants and supported by the state. There was sadly a very close organic relationship between them. These homes would not have existed without the proactive support of the governments of the day. The abusive practices which occurred at the Bon Secours Sisters Mother and Baby Home were not unique to that institution and were replicated in similar institutions across the state. I just want to put on the Dáil record two conversations I had yesterday with two different women. The First Lady, pregnant at only 17 in 1967, was sent to a mother and baby home by her parents. She told me even when she was heavily pregnant, they had to go down on their hands and knees and scrub floors. One day when she wasn't feeling too well, she sat back on her haunches and was kicked into the stomach. Shortly after having her baby, he was taken from her and adopted. She left the mother and baby home, was driven to the airport, put on a plane and told never come back. After years of searching for her son, they have recently met and it's all going well. She told me yesterday she wants the state to acknowledge her abuse. The second lady was born in a mother and baby home around 1960. She was there a number of months before being adopted into a good home. She was subjected to vaccine trials. She would like to know what she was injected with and why. After years of searching, she finally made contact with her mother last year. She had another family, but they knew nothing about her. Her birth mother told her that she spent 12 hours giving birth to her in a toilet cubicle without pain relief. When she was about to give birth, they put her on a commode and she gave birth into the commode. Her mother passed away shortly after they met. Women are hurting all over Ireland and abroad. They were made to feel ashamed. The religious institutions, the state and society in general should be ashamed. We need to get to the truth of the matter, and I hope we can do it with consensus and cross-party support for a Dáil motion and move swiftly to establish an inquiry.